Tonight we're having almost hamburger steaks, and I got my pan too hot. I was talking to Holly. I'm going to set it back there just a minute. And this was on sale for $2.69, marked down, so it's been in the freezer. But what you do, and David told me this, gosh, Holly was a little thing. He was cooking like this. I said, you can't do that. And it worked. And we've been doing them ever since. I call them almost hamburger steaks because you'd be surprised how much like a hamburger steak they taste. So you just cut it into 4 pieces. I've tried to get the camera a little bit here and there. Now I have a particular way I always season these. But I bought a new season at the Farm Fresh Market that I really want to try. I'll show it to you in a minute. And you just carefully place your little squares. We'll season the other side when we turn it. I just don't want to break them up by flopping them over until they kind of set up a little bit. A little bit, we'll put that smash on top of that. And what I'm using is this Everglades fish and chicken. It smells really good. This will be, be my first time using it. And since this is white chicken, so we're just going to cook it until it browns on the bottom, and then we're going to flip it over. Okay, let's see. Not real brown, but we're going to flip them and season them while they're moist. See why you have to be careful? It's wanting to fall apart. Give them some more on this side. And I'll tell you, they'll like ooze some of the liquid out, and you see how it gets right there? You get those little things, but you can just pick them right off. I don't know if it's blood. I'll just be honest with you, I don't know what it is. Now, cover them, kind of crank them down a little bit, not too high, and just let them cook until they're 165 in the middle. See what I mean about the, oops, I'm sorry, this right here? I don't know what it is. I just always do this. I just pick it off. It's never bothered me. So we'll give them a turn. See how they're sticking together now? We've set them, so to speak. And now they're sticking together like a patty should. So let's put the, I hit you again. Let's put the lid back on, let it cook a little bit more. Okay, let's check them one more time. Let's flip them. We might leave the lid off so they'll brown up a little bit. Okay, we're going to check the temperature. Let's check this one. 57, 59, 61, 64. Okay, 66. That's done. 68. Yeah, these are done. So we will take them off the burner and just leave them covered for when David gets up. Now what we're going to do is let me slide this over. Hold on. I'm going to switch places. I'm going to get my big frying pan out. I keep this sitting on the stove. Let me move the lid. I keep this sitting on the stove, and I use the oil over and over for frying stuff. When it gets, you can see at the bottom when it settles, I use this fine mesh thing and just scoop it up. I scooped it up before I started today. So here's my first tip. while this is heating up, let me crank that up a little bit. Get you a chopstick, a real wood chopstick, and just place it in there. And when the oil starts bubbling around the edge that's inside it, it's ready. So let's slide over here, and I'm going to show you what we're frying. We are frying squash out of our garden. I got more over there, but I think this will be enough for us to eat. I don't know. It's like candy. So, and then in my bag, it's a recycled bag that I washed. I have cornmeal mix. Now mine is self-rising. It don't matter, self-rising or plain, but it's cornmeal mix, so it's cornmeal and flour. If you can't find cornmeal mix, I don't know the ratio of cornmeal to flour. You can look it up, how to make it, and make your own. It's just, I think down south we have a lot more of these self-rising mixes, or even plain mixes, because we cook more with it, I think. I could be wrong. So if you want to make your own, maybe you don't think you'll use a lot of cornmeal mix. That's up to you. But what we're going to do is slice our squash about that thick. Really, that's about as thick as our pickles. I missed that one. Now, since these are little crook neck, these are not straight squash. These are little crook necks. So I'm going to take this little end and split him. And do him like that, instead of cutting them in little bitty circles. And then just, and I don't salt or season my cornmeal, I just salt the squash when it comes out. So just toss it all in there, whip it up, and just give it a shake. You want everything coated. We don't make the batter kind of squash, or okra for that matter. So I just do that until all my squash is in the bag and ready to go. And as soon as the oil comes up, we'll fry some squash. I about did it again. I already fried a batch. I forgot to turn on the camera. This was bubbling at the end. You can see all my oil is ready. So I just have all my squash in the bag. All of it's coated. So we'll just pull it out just little bits at a time. And if you let the oil come back to temperature just a little bit in between, if it's real hot like mine, you don't really need to. But if your oil is not super duper hot, you can let it come, especially, this is not so bad because this is not cold. But like if you're doing french fries, in between batches, let it come back up to the heat a little bit, or you will cool down your oil too much. So you can fill your pan up, and while that's working, come here. I've showed you this before. This is my way of frying, catching everything, and I've done this for umpteen years. I put a piece of foil down, and this happens to be a saved piece. This is part of the flour sack, the 25-pound flour sack that I got. Save all your flour bags and sugar bags. Cut the bottoms off and just cut them in half because they soak up a lot of grease. And then some paper towels. You don't have to use as many paper towels. Now here's my system. I didn't salt it. I put them down here to start, and then I slide them up here to cool, and that way I know which is the fresh, hottest batch. And the most of the grease comes here, and then it finishes up there. So let's scooch over. And that's my system for anything I fry. Fish, french fries, squash, okra, it don't matter. That's always been my system. So we're just going to let these go until they get browned. And you can see it doesn't take long. Ooh, that's all I can do not to eat some of this right now. Now, it's crispy when you take it out, but it gets soft when you let it cool. I don't know about the batter kind, because I don't make that kind. This is our favorite kind. The floppy squash don't bother us at all. It's the flavor. Okay, I just tested one. About scalded my mouth off. I chewed it as much as I could, and I just went ahead and swallowed it. Gosh, I love fried squash. I'm probably going to gain 15 pounds this summer, because we'll be frying squash every day. During squash season, but I'm going to be freezing it too, so we can fry it this winter. Okay, give it some salt while it's hot, and then continue until it's all through. Okay, now let me show you. Save this. I got all the squash out. It's just pure dry cornmeal mix. Save this bag and just keep reusing it. Just add more cornmeal mix as you need it. I've done this for years. You're not going to get sick. If you do, don't blame me. I've never got sick. Make no sense to waste that cornmeal. That's crazy because it's dry as a bone. Any moisture is stuck to the squash with this. So tonight we're making pizza casserole. It's a recipe I found in one of the old cookbooks, church cookbooks, and I'm just changing it, mixing it up a little bit. Basically the same recipe, but a little different. Now, I've already cooked my hamburger. I want to show you my trick. I'm letting some water come up to the boil over here to cook 2 cups of shell pasta. Recipe calls for 2 cups. I don't know if they meant cooked or dry, but I'm going to do dry because I got a whole jar of spaghetti sauce. Now, it didn't call for any meat, but I thought I would bulk it up with some protein. I have 3/4 of a pound. You could put a pound, but you know I package mine in 3/4 pound. Okay, hold on. My water is boiling. The reason why I went ahead and cooked it is because I wanted to show you my trick, because this was lean, not lean hamburger. I need to drain it, and I'm going to show you my way of doing it. Let's see if we can get off that heat. I have an old peanut can. You can use coffee cans, something that's going to hold up to the heat. And I have a turkey baster. Hold on. And since it's a lot, it's too much to wipe out with a paper towel. So I just put it in this can, and when it's through, I put it in the freezer. I keep it stored. I don't know if you can tell. Can you tell that's solid? Because I store it in the freezer. I don't want to store it under the sink where it's going to draw bugs and stink and get grease everywhere. I just store it in the freezer, and then that way when everything is full, the can is full, I just toss it away and there's no mess. No muss, no fuss. Alright, that's all of that, and this just goes in the dishwasher. I take it apart. Alright, let's set that aside and wait on our noodles. The macaroni's done. You could use elbows. I don't see why not, but it called for shells, and I thought, okay, cool. Same price. It didn't cost me any more to do shells. If it did, I would have just done elbows, because it's not going to be a lick of difference. So I'm going to add my hamburger. Now I have a 2-quart casserole that I sprayed. We're going to put half of this down. And we are going to season it with garlic powder, onion powder, And this Italian seasoning that I have, I don't want to use my pizza seasoning that I made because I'm saving that to make pizza sauce. And this uses spaghetti sauce, so I don't think I need it. Then you have 1 jar of spaghetti sauce. This was the one I got on sale, so that's even better. We're just going to put it on top, half of it. Okay. Then some cheese. It didn't say what kind of cheese. I did not shred my mozzarella, and I did not feel like shredding my mozzarella. So this is already shredded. So that's what we're using. Just good old cheddar. And then we will put the other half of the meat and noodles. Well, this makes a big, as Jacob would say, big casserole. And then we will season it again with onion powder and garlic powder. You can salt it at the table if you need it, because I did not salt the noodles. With all this seasoning and stuff, it might not need it. And the other half of the sauce. Now hold on just a second. I just put a skosh bit of water in there to get out that last little bit of flavor without ruining my dish. And then we will finish it out with more cheese on top. And I'm not measuring the cheese. I'm just doing it till it looks right. Now this goes in the oven covered for 1 hour. That seems like a long time, but I'm going with it. So 350, 1 hour. Okay, let's see. Where is I just had my, there they are. This went for 1 hour. I let it sit here. And now let's just see what we got. It smells wonderful. Now this, as you can see, will feed an army. And I told David, whatever's left, don't try to put it in for leftovers, because I'm going to put it in a freezer bag and freeze it for another meal. Okay. Let's see. There you go. I think that looks good. Now let me let it cool off enough to give it a little taste. I'm going to get some cheese in there. Ooh, that's really good. Now I was going to tell you, if you don't have the Italian seasoning, you can use regular loose Italian seasoning or just oregano. But gosh, that's good. And not very expensive at all. Some shells, that was 50 cents worth of shells. Cheese, that's probably most expensive. Well, no, the meat, which is only 3/4 of a pound. And like $1.40 was my spaghetti sauce. So, for as much as it makes, I think it's a frugal meal. So, there you have it. I think that's all I'm going to do for this video. I'm not sure if I'll already closed out on another meal or not. But anyway, if I have, I'll either try to cut it out or you'll just hear it twice. But I hope you enjoyed this video and gave you some ideas for some frugal meals. And I will see you when I see you.